businesses more effectively. Not only did we require the hold time to go back to 30 days, but we also, the ordinance also requires them to photograph customers and specific items. These items and photographs are then put into NESPIN, which is the New England State Police Information Network, through computer technology. During the month of March 2014, I ordered an undercover operation of these businesses within Springfield. Sergeant Regner and Captain Treitz of the Detective Bureau conducted this operation. They did a fine job. They went to many of the businesses in Springfield, most of which were in compliance with the ordinance. However, we did find violations in several of these businesses in Springfield. As a consequence, we brought violation charges against these businesses. Hearings were held by the Springfield Law Department, and findings were found against about 8 businesses in the city of Springfield. City Jeweler on 1319 Main Street was fined $600. Mark Robbins Jewelers, 6 Commonwealth Avenue, received a $900 fine. Kim's Jewelry of 1624 Main Street received a $900 fine. Emmanuel Jewelry, 1307 Liberty Street, received a $900 fine. Also, Game World of 2475 Main Street received a $300 fine. There were 3 businesses that we denied the license for this coming year. We felt that the violations were so serious and egregious that it would be just that their licenses were not renewed. One of those businesses was Oldies from the Estate, 45 Parker Street, that was denied. Second business was K&L Exchange Pawn, 1192 Parker Street, denied, and Unlimited Pawn, 1199 Sudner Avenue. Our undercover officers conducted this investigation. They did a great job along with the investigators in order to bring these businesses into compliance. The reason for this is when house breaks occur, goods and jewelry are taken out of the house breaks. We feel that these businesses should be regulated very stringently so that they can't take stolen goods, and they can't inhibit police officers from doing a very thorough investigation in order to recover the goods, and not only recover it, but prosecute people that are doing these types of breaks. Again, I want to commend the officers for the fine job that they did. Mayor Dominic Sarno, I would like to address you now.
Mayor, thank you very much. Thank you, sir. First of all, I want to thank Commissioner Fitchett, men and women in blue, the Deputy Chief Barberi, Detective Rigner. I want to thank our licensing director, Attorney Alicia Days. But I really want to single out, working with the City Council, and it was really led by the Chairman of Health and Public Safety, Tom Ash, his stick-to-itiveness, and Council President Mike Fenton, that were able to get this through with other various city councilors. This operation really goes to the fact that some of these establishments are really aiding and abetting criminal activity, and that is not fair nor right to the residents of the city of Springfield, nor to the police department. Some of these establishments were acting as fences, and the operation that occurred will really highlight the establishments that are operating correctly. And we're hopeful that the ones that face fines now get the message that they need to operate correctly and work with the police department. Some egregious things that occurred with one establishment not cooperating with the police department, $15,000 in jewelry, and really hindering 2 area police departments. And another one, ironically, which came up at the meetings that Commissioner Fitchett and I hold with the court system, with federal, state, and law enforcement officials, that their probationers would indicate to move items that go to a certain store, establishment, pawn shop, which was with shaving blades and teeth whiteners. And ironically, I mean, the audacity of this place, they're advertising on eBay for this. So it's important, not only to proactively with the police department, that we are hopeful to prevent these type of breaks that occur, but we can't have businesses cooperating with criminals. And with that, I really again want to commend City Council Tom Ash, the Chairman of Public Health and Safety, who's stuck with this, and City Council President Mike Fenton, Attorney Mike Fenton on it. And Commissioner, if it's okay with you, I'll turn it over to Councilor Ash and City Council President Fenton on it. But this was a team approach. It worked. It sent a strong message out. The last thing I'll say is if you, we're very business friendly, and if you operate correctly, we'll be there to promote you. But if you're going to operate, aid, and abet criminal activity, we're going to make sure that you're either fined or you're going to be closed down. But some of these, a couple of these establishments, which Commissioner Fitchett backed up, and Attorney Alicia Dave, my license director, deserved to be shut down when it came to this operation. They were in your face doing illegal activities, and we're not going to tolerate that in the city of Springfield. So now I'll turn it over to Chairman of Public Health and Safety, Tom Ash, and City Council President Mike Fenton. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, it took us a long time, I think, to get to the point where we finally had the regulations in place, and it was because of the commitment and steadfast support of certainly of my colleagues in the council, and particularly President Fenton, but also the police and the mayor's office for sticking with us in order to get this ordinance passed. Police know and convinced the council that it was necessary to put these regulations in place in the criminal activity that was going on, and unfortunately it was. But we also know through the course of the process of the ordinance was that there was businesses that were doing the right thing, were acting appropriately, and we were careful to signal, to make that point, that not everyone was acting inappropriately, and we certainly didn't want to paint a broad brush of the whole industry, so I think that's important to point out. You know, again, I think that's a great thanks to the entire council. It took a long time to persuade the majority to come our way. Fortunately, they did in the end. I think the next logical step for the council to look at in short order would be putting a moratorium on this industry and maybe a cap on the amount of businesses that we allow in the city. And going forward, that will be something Your Honor and Council President and I will be looking at considering. But again, thank you to the police department, the commissioner, the deputies, to Captain Trites and his staff for doing such a great job.
Thanks. Council President Mike Fenton.
Thank you, Commissioner, for your support of this ordinance from the beginning and for the thoughtful and thorough prosecution of these pawn shops and junk dealers that were behaving outside the law. Thank you to the mayor for instructing his legal team through the licensing department to conduct the necessary hearings to achieve the results that we have here today. And also thank you to Deputy Chief John Barberi, who will soon be our commissioner and has expressed steadfast support for this ordinance. The lion's share of the credit for the work that was done here today really belongs to Councilor Ash through his leadership and his resilience that he showed through the drafting of this ordinance and through sticking with it when, when it seemed unlikely that we would be able to get it passed. It did not pass on the first vote. It took a lot of lobbying and a lot of explanation, which Councilor Ash provided in a really articulate way, which eventually carried the day and resulted in the achievement that we have here this afternoon. I'd also like to thank Sergeant Regner and Captain Trites, who led the effort through the Springfield Police Department and who were instrumental in bringing this to the council's attention and seeing to it that we had the resources that we needed to get it passed and have it enforced. I think that our next step, as Councilor Ash, Chairman of Public Health and Safety, has indicated, will be to look at new licenses that are awarded and the manner in which we approach that subject. And I have every faith and confidence that we will do that in the same deliberate and thoughtful manner that we did this matter. So thank you again to the police department for hosting and to the mayor for participating in this press conference. And I think this is really an extremely positive result for the city of Springfield.
Thank you, Council President. Commissioner? If you have any questions, Commissioner Fitchett, is here, or anyone else that's at the podium.
Take any questions that you might have? Yes,
You said that the three of these pawn shops are no longer operating. Was their license revoked or was it not renewed?
it's not renewed. They have a right to remain open in order to accommodate some customers that might have some items in their shop. So we're going to regulate when they open, and we're going to have police presence here to make sure that they're complying with the regulations. Those buildings, they have a right to be in the building. The buildings are not shut down. They don't have a right to completely shut down or board up the building. But it's the license, it's the actual license that has not been renewed.
When was the renewal period? I mean, did it?
In May.
Okay, so starting May 1, they didn't have,
Right, we didn't renew effective May 1. We knew that these hearings were pending, I think, the second week in May, and as a consequence, we didn't renew. They were advised that we were not renewing. They knew they were in some jeopardy regarding the renewal process.
just to characterize this, can we say they were shut down or can we say they're licensed? How do we describe?
I would phrase it that their license was not renewed. As I said, the building itself, they have a right to occupy the
Yeah.
building. We don't have a right to shut down their occupancy within the building. We control the licensing of these pawn shops and secondhand dealers. Yes,
This was an administrative process, not a criminal process, is that correct?
that's correct.
Is there a criminal investigation proceeding?
There's a potential for that outside of our undercover operation, because we have information sources regarding stolen goods going into some of these businesses. As of right now, no criminal complaints have been issued, and this has strictly been administrative hearings regarding the licensing of it.
I think you said there was eight that have been sanctioned or had their licenses not renewed. The ninth one is still contesting it? Is it still in the
We haven't
process?
had a hearing on the ninth one yet. That's pending right now. So I'm hesitant to even mention them until we have a hearing and they can be heard. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Commissioner.